wellness, ashe, ashe. I got a couple things I want to talk about, and I've discussed it. I've done some discovery firsthand, and I'd like to share that information with you. But Love+Art equals Wellness, Heart Happy Hour, Season 4. I want to wait a couple minutes and see if I can get anyone in on this topic. So the two things that we're going to talk about today, the two topics, one is about the foreskin, and it's something that I discovered when actually I had come across something in reference to female circumcision, and so I continued to do some research on it, and for all the reasons that circumcision is done, there are reasons why not to do it. And the second item that I'll be discussing is snoring. A lot of people can't stand snoring, can't stand if somebody is snoring. So I want to talk about those two things, snoring and circumcision. So I had talked to some fellas, some grown ass men, in reference to the decision being made for them and some of the reasons why they have decided whether they would have done it back then or not, because it is a decision that has been made famously. I was about to say religiously. Famously, decisions are made like this, as a infant, as a baby. But the thing is this, um, as you rise, as an older person, as a grown man, even as a teenager and a young adult or adolescent, when you wake up with the sunrise, there is a rising as well of your phallic, or your thallus, or whatever else that these other names that they call it when you look at it in architecture. But the thing that I found, because it's always said, oh, there's a particular hygiene concern. Oh, there's a potential that they're going to want to, um, have I guess, a choice in the matter. I,
405.
huh?
405.
Okay. I believe it's on that end of the building.
Okay.
Yeah. So I'm here at work, so I apologize. And next time somebody comes up, I'm definitely going to try to put you guys on hold. But the deal is this: that if it's natural for you to have your foreskin when you're born, my thought is, why would God make it if it was something that wasn't supposed to be there? I mean, I know other animals have a foreskin, and you can see it pop out. The horses, the dogs, and things. You can see it in an obvious way when it pops out. But and there are some concerns that perhaps it's too tight. And this is ones that have not been circumcised. Sometimes the foreskin is too tight in a natural way, but I'm told that is when you're a child, if you don't play with yourself enough. And I hate to say it that way because that makes it sound like it's something that a child's play sort of thing. And your thallus is definitely something that's a very important member of your vessel. So anyway, if you don't utilize it a lot, if you don't access it on a regular basis, it doesn't have the chance to contract and contain itself in a way that continues to be operable as far as your health is concerned. But I have come to the position that they have decided to do it on a regular basis as far as everybody. Okay, as far as everybody is concerned, as far as normal operation, when you're born, the thought is that it will be automatically done. So the thing is this: it is a spiritual, look, four means before. Okay, gotcha. It is something that happens, it is engaged before you actually start utilizing it for the purpose of entering the womb, or I mean, not the womb, but entering the female's body. It actually has to, peel back, and then, has an additional extension that, and actually has a very suction sort of, fit that makes everything, like butter. Yes, it does require additional hygiene. Yes, it does require additional, what you might consider, um, attention, you know. But that's not something that we need to take away from them, and the potential of what they're capable of. If we're capable of keeping our inner parts, you know, uh, hygienic, then we should just be able to teach those others who are hygienic, how to be hygienic with it. So my thought is this: the foreskin has been purposely removed on the majority of us because it has a spiritual purpose to me. It actually has it's a valve that releases, like once you seal that part off, you no longer have that additional um, blood, the area for the blood to actually begin to not coagulate, but to fill that area. So the time that it would take for that to happen is an additional time for you to be spiritually, mentally, physically ready for what you're about to do. You think a little more about, if it's like you can be more willy-nilly at the zip, snap, and drop, instead of being more, um, I want to say, holy about it. I want to say that you want to be a little more particular about it. Like if that area needed to be maintained on a cleaner basis, I really think, hey Noah, thank you for checking in with us. I really think that that is something that when they take that away from you, when it's no longer a an option for you, you can't I have seen that there are operations, they can put it back, but it's not going to be the same. It's just like when you have a new car and you take off some of the parts and you try to put back the original parts. You've already worn things out to a way that, when you put it back, it's not going to be like brand new, hot off the assembly line, like a newborn baby or something. It's not going to be that. So I think, that if any male is out there and they want to chime in with me. But I had a group discussion with a couple of males and a couple that were priests and holy men, and they felt the same way, that it could be very well that it has a spiritual basis. It has a spiritual, because it was started by what is a religious group to say, hey, this is what we practice. This, and why, if we're not practicing those religious beliefs, why would we continue to move forward with what is someone else's religious practice? Why would that be imposed upon us, and why would that be an automatic thing? Again, certain things are being done to take away certain choices, take away certain spiritual potentials. That to me is something that that would give you a different way of doing things. As far as men are concerned, it would give men a different way of doing things if it were not a across the board kind of thing that was done on a regular basis. So, like I said, I think it has a spiritual value. And speaking of the spirit, because these are two things that I think that we mess with that we don't need to mess with. So one is that foreskin. We don't need to take that off. I really think that's depriving the gentleman of the additional pleasure that they could have, the additional measure that they would have of keeping themselves hygienic. You're welcome. Take care. So that's one thing. That's one of the ways I feel about that. But the second thing is snoring. Snoring is something that it does bother some people, and some people it doesn't bother me. It does not bother me. And who is that? How you say your name? I don't know how you say that. Okay. Oh, hi Noah, and hi Nat. I'm not sure how you say that name. I can't say that. But hi guys, nice to see you on this with me. But if you guys snore, or if you've ever heard anyone else snore, it may be something. Just say hi, Noah. it may be something that bothers you, it may not be. Me, it doesn't bother because guess what? I have found that that is a spiritual language. I don't know who's going to say that, but it is your spirit talking through your snores. I've actually heard others snoring and had conversations and asked questions and had things spoken back to me through the person's snore. And this is over several studies that I've done. So, can you tell about sleepwalking? Because I do. I have family members that sleepwalk, and what they say is that, well, one is that one person that I know, she spoke and said that when she gets up in the morning, even though has gotten up, she really hasn't gotten up. So a lot of times she's walking on automatic, meaning she'll bump into things. But I understand, I've heard that when you walk in your sleep, you don't bump into things like you're aware of, and in some cases your eyes can be even open. But in my mind, because I have never really slept walk, so I don't know much about it. That's not something I can really speak to without an authority on it at all. But the snoring part, I can't say I'm an authority, but I have enough exposure and experience that I can speak to it. So I do think that it is something that, folks try all kinds of things to rid themselves of the snore. But if the person knew, like if the female who complains about you snoring, if she knew that she could actually have a two-way conversation with you, that where your subconscious, your spirit is responding to what she's saying, then she would not even talk about it. She wouldn't have a problem with it. She would keep on sleep and find out more. So, but either way, One Love and Wellness, those are the two things I want to talk about. The fact that snoring is a language. You guys have a great evening. In addition to snoring being a language, I wanted to talk about the fact that I do think that that the foreskin has a spiritual purpose. And the folks that I have talked to, even the priests and the pastors that I've talked to, have said that they think I'm on to something. And so the more I've talked to people and talked about the fact that it would definitely change the way we look at things, the way men look. I say we because I'm not a man, but the way men look at things. If they have to be a little more hygienically concerned, I think that's a good thing because we have to be hygienically concerned on those things. So, hey, why not share the burden with us? You think we have a specific fragrance or aroma, you would have specifically fragrance and aroma too. So I'm gonna have to stop now. I am gonna be oh, because you're so nice. Thank you, Ashe Ashe. But I really think those are things that we need to get deeper into. I'll do some research and get deeper into it with you next time. One Love and Wellness Heart Happy Hour Season 4. Precious Mother Love. I am going to say my goodbyes and I thank you for joining me. Again, One Love and Wellness. Ashe. How are you today?
Good, how are you?
I'm doing wonderful. I'm trying to close this out. Here we go.